Okay, hi guys. I hope you're all well. I will make a start. If people want to join as you know, as and when, I'm sure they will. Um, Firstly, if you don't know who I am, I'm Alistair. I work for Matrix. I have done for 5 years now, and my job is basically at the minute it's to be promoting and sharing products via webinars and helping customers in any way I can. Um, Today's webinar is, as you know, about three-phase and about our higher end electrical installation kits at level 3. I'm going to do a short presentation. I'm going to then do some product demonstrations of our three-phase kit. At which case, you know, you can ask questions then at the end, or if you want to unmute yourself now, I've no problem with that. Unmute yourself, ask questions as I'm going through the presentation. But this is a real cool kit. It's one that I really like. Whenever I demonstrate to customers and people that are delivering electrical installation qualifications, it's got a bit of a wow factor. People like the three-phase kit. It really helps to teach three-phase in a unique way that you know, many other products do not. You know, the main one being it's very safe. It's all at 6 to 9 volts. But yeah, I'm going to crack on with the presentation. I have put you all on mute. If you want to ask questions, there's the chat section for something that can wait till the end. Or if there's something more pressing that you would like to ask, please feel free to unmute yourself, and I've got no problem with that. Okay, thank you. Hi guys, I hope you can all see this screen that I'm sharing with you. First of all, what are we going to cover today? Okay, so initially, for those that are not familiar with LOCKTRONICS, I'm going to introduce LOCKTRONICS. Possibly most of you will be. Then I'm going to basically tell you what makes up a kit within our range. I'll go over the kits that we have in our electrical installation range. I'll then describe in a bit more detail what's involved in our curriculum pack and where you can find the workbooks. Just a quick one, guys. Can you hear me? Yes, thank you. I'll discuss a few bits in specifically the three-phase kit, and then I will also discuss some other level 3 electrical installation kits, and then I'll do a demonstration, and then it will be up to you guys if you've got any questions. That'll be the time, unless you've got some as we go, in which case unmute yourself. Okay, so obviously we have the electrical installation range. That's why we're all here. We also have many other ranges, which I'm sure some of you are at least familiar with. The LOCKTRONICS, which I'm going to come into in just a moment, also fits into our science and physics range. We have kits that are good for computer science, fiber optics, things like photonics. We've got an important electrical and electronic engineering range, which I'm sure will be some of you will be familiar with. Mechanical engineering, so we've got kits that teach mechanical principles and pneumatics, as well as automation. Robotics and mechatronics, we've got some nice products there. A new robot arm that fits in nicely there. We've also got a growing manufacturing engineering section. So we've got a CNC, desktop CNC. We've got something that's going to come out soon, which is how to teach smart factories and process control. We've got ranges for aviation and automotive as well. Okay, so what is LOCKTRONICS? Like I said earlier, I'm sure many of you actually thoroughly know what LOCKTRONICS is, but for those that don't, LOCKTRONICS, it's a range of products that simplifies the process of learning and teaching electricity and electronics. Okay, so the user will get a green baseboard like you can see on the screen. They will get a tray of components All the components are real life components. So it's a real resistor, it's a real capacitor, for example. And all the components are attached to green plastic carriers that you can see on the baseboard here, with the circuit symbols printed on. The carriers are then slotted into the baseboard, and you can build circuits very quickly. In terms of how many components, we've got over 200 individual components within the LOCKTRONICS range. So that's what LOCKTRONICS is, but what's an electrical installation kit? Okay, so we've put together what we call solutions or kits. This is everything you need to complete a certain set of lesson plans or learning outcomes, and it includes things from the storage through to the baseboard, the individual components, the power supplies, the workbooks, the curriculum, the accessories, you know, so everything you need to complete a set of lesson plans is included within a box, within a storage solution. So what electrical installation kits do we have? Today, I'm going to focus on level 3. However, we also have kits at level 1 and 2. At level 1, we have a kit which we call simply the self-entitled Electrical Installation 1 solution. Now, this kit assumes no prior knowledge. It's based on an English level 1 qualification in either City of Guilds or EAL. We've got a level 2 kit, again, which is based on either EAL or City and Guilds at level 2, although it will have cross functionality with other awarding bodies, I'm sure. That builds on the knowledge learned at level 1. At level 2, we also have another kit, which is it's to learn about components and circuits within electrical installation. At level 3, which we will go into more detail today, we have a fantastic, pretty new kit which teaches about modern electrical machines and their characteristics. We've got a kit that teaches the principles of lighting and how you might plan strategic placements of lights. We have a kit which teaches electrical installation circuit principles, and we have another kit at level 3, which is very useful for teaching transformers, how they're constructed and how they operate. And the other kit that I'm going to go into most detail today is our 3-phase kit. So that's our electrical installation range. It may be worth knowing that we also do have an electrical engineering range, which is slightly different. So it's not tailored to how you would install electricity. It's just how you would engineer electricity. Okay, and you can find that range on our website. So, as I'm sure most of you know, with all of our kits, they come completely free with an accompanying worksheet or workbook. These are available on our website at www.matrixtsl.com/learning. And they're completely free, as I say. They come as a PDF, so you're free to put them on your website. You can print them off. You can put them on your smartboard. You can put them on your virtual learning center. Whatever you want to do with them, we're completely happy with. I have had customers before that actually want me to send them an editable format so they can put your branding on, etc. Again, totally happy to do that. They really do save your lecturers a lot of time in terms of planning lessons and that sort of thing. They really are worth their weight in gold. Okay, so the first kit I'm going to discuss at level 3 is our electrical installation circuit principles kit. This covers 2 separate topics, really. The first one is how the students basically, they use electronic components and a signal generator to export inductive and capacitive reactance to compare the effects of how the effects that these will have on a circuit. The second part that this kit covers is it includes a selection of components that allows students to explore how solenoids and relays are used in electronic circuits and how circuit breakers and RCDs are used in electrical safety systems.
So that's the first kit that we've got at level 3. Possibly the kit that this kit at the minute is really popular because it's quite new. We brought it out about a year ago. Many of you will know a lot about it. This is Matrix's electrical machines range, and it really is revolutionary in the market. It's a modern way of safely studying the characteristics of different motors and different machines in a safe learning environment. Okay, so the set includes a dynamometer, a DC motor, a universal series motor, a single phase motor, a shunt motor, a 3-phase induction motor, and a brushless DC motor. The brushless DC motor can also be used as a 3-phase generator. So the electrical machines kit is perfect for exploring the different characteristics of different motors. Again, this kit comes with 4 curriculum workbooks actually, but the one that's written for electrical installation is there on the right. So it's electrical machines for electrical installation, manual control. The next level 3 kit for electrical installation is our Principles of Lighting kit. Again, this is a pretty new product, maybe 2 years old. And this kit allows students to understand the principles of lighting in systems for domestic and industrial buildings. The kit includes, it comes with a LOCKTRONICS baseboard, a set of high power MES LED bulbs, a lot of switches and connectors, and a light meter. Here, the students can arrange the bulbs in varying positions and densities, and they will measure the light intensity using the light meter, which is in the kit included. The students provide different effects on light intensity, and they can explore the different angles of lighting, the distance away from the light source, and the density of the light sources, and the effects of these when you introduce a mirror, for example. So this is more about the planning of buildings, where you would strategically put your lights, and whether they would be useful to accompany mirrors and things like that, and angles. So this is, more planning than actual installation. The next kit, which again is a really nice popular kit, is our Transformers kit. This kit it allows students to study not only how transformers work, but it also allows them to study several different properties of induced magnetism. So the kit, you get a plastic base, a laminated iron core, mounted fixtures, 6 coil protected in a heat resistant film, and the kit covers topics like Lenz's law, Faraday's law, how iron cores increase magnetic field strength, electromagnet, power and energy in DC systems, power in AC systems, power factor, reactive load, transformer construction as well. So that's a really good way to teach and learn about transformers. Okay, so now we're going to go on to our 3-phase kit, which is the main reason for this webinar. As I mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, that this kit for me it's one of my favorites. And when I'm going around visiting colleges and universities here in the UK, this kit is really quite. It's rare that you'll see a customer or an electrical installation lecturer that isn't amazed by this product. It's a really unique way of teaching 3-phase, which by all accounts is a very tough topic to teach, particularly when you consider the dangerous voltages associated with 3-phase. Our kit isn't like that. It's either 9 volts or 6 volts, but it teaches the theory of 3-phase in a manner that the voltage is actually irrelevant. Okay, so it includes a suite of practical investigations into 3-phase systems like I keep saying, it's at a safe voltage. The low voltage allows students hands-on time learning about three-phase. I have been to see many electrical installation departments where the lecturers are very much so against letting the students get hands-on when it comes to three-phase, because the kit that they have or had is all at 420 volts, and thus you know, they don't want the students to be touching that sort of thing, and therefore it is much more of a demonstration. Now, this three-phase kit we do see sold as a demonstration unit, but also we see students getting hands-on because of the lack of safety issues. So, like I say, the voltage allows students hand-on time, and the teacher has they can rest easy knowing that the health and safety issues are very minimal. The other key factor of our three-phase kit is the small footprint. I see a lot of colleges that they don't want to be restricted by a certain lab. They don't want to be restricted in terms of they can't move the kit. This kit is perfectly portable. It packs away into a small footprint box, and you can move it from classroom to classroom in a manner that other kits simply don't give you the freedom. So on the right here of my screen, you can see one of the worksheets. This particular worksheet is about half wave rectification. You can see it's done in a nice intuitive manner. It's drawn and written by practicing electrical installation teachers, and it's done in a way that entices the students, and in a way that students will engage nicely in the products. Now, running down the left, you can see the learning objectives associated with this kit. Things like star and delta, you can teach no problem. Another highlight is power factor correction and half and full wave rectification. Topics that without this kit are incredibly difficult to teach and visualize. This kit brings it to life. Power factor correction, phase shift, three-phase motors, three-phase inductance and reactance, real reactance and apparent power. All this kit, it's a great way of teaching these topics, which without this kit are, let's be honest, they're very tough topics to teach safely and in a manner that is intuitive. And the feedback I have with the customers and the colleges that have already bought this kit is it takes the weight off the lecturers' shoulders, and the work is pretty much done for them. So, what is involved in our three-phase kit? So the main components are the three-phase generator. Now, I've mentioned before that that's at 6 or 9 volts. You can also edit the frequency from 0.1 hertz through to 150 hertz. Now, we all know that the most efficient frequency of three-phase is 50 hertz. You can also change the phase shift from left hand to right hand. It comes with a tray or box of LOCKTRONICS. So some of the lesson plans and worksheets are using LOCKTRONICS and the LOCKTRONICS baseboard, but the majority here in the three-phase kit are, instead of using the baseboard for LOCKTRONICS, they're actually using the three-phase motor. So it comes with a three-phase motor, which, as I mentioned earlier, can be configured in star or delta. Now, then the lecturer or the college has an option. We used to sell the kit inclusive with a 4-input oscilloscope and a current clamp and a multimeter, but the amount of colleges I was visiting that were saying, actually, we have a 4-input digital oscilloscope, we have a current clamp, we have a multimeter. We actually took a decision to take it out of the kit, and now it's up to the college. If they want to buy that kit and teach three-phase, they have the option whether, if they've already got a 4-input oscilloscope or a current clamp, they can use their own. But I must stress, it is important that the college does have a multimeter. It does have a 4-input oscilloscope, and I stress a 4-input oscilloscope. A 1-input oscilloscope or a 2-input oscilloscope will not suffice for the lesson plans here at 3-phase. It must be a 3-input, or in fact a 4-input oscilloscope, 1 input for each phase and 1 input for the current clamp. So when you're learning about power factor, you certainly need a 4-input oscilloscope to learn about that. A 2-input or a 1-input will certainly not do. Again, the kit comes in a nice storage solution. Here, one of our customers, this is a college in London. The lecturer here is using our demo panel to teach power factor correction. And they've got it hooked up. You can see in the background, you can see they've got the lesson plans on their smart board, and the 4-input oscilloscope is plugged into their laptop, and you can see just about there the 3 phases perfectly in unison, and they've got it hooked up, the 4-input oscilloscope up to the motor. And you can also see that the signal generator is plugged into the motor. What you can't see is that motor is turning and working in 3-phase. Now, as with all of our kits, they come with the storage solution, which is again ideal if you want to put things away after the lesson, so that the things don't go missing and the things are not permanently out. You can move the storage from lab to lab very easily, so you don't have to have a dedicated lab or 3-phase lab. Here, you can basically take it even into a normal classroom, a maths classroom, an English classroom, and then once you're done with it, they can go away into storage. You can see on the right here, with all of our kits, there is an underlay sheet. The underlay sheet means that if there is a component missing, you can see exactly what that component is. You know, perfect for things at the end of the lesson. You let the students go when you know all the components are indeed back in the box. Okay, so that's kind of where we're up to now. Before I go on to the demonstration, does anybody have any questions this far? If you do, you've got 2 options. If you could put it in the chat section, or if you could unmute yourself. I'm comfortable with either. Just while I set up my cameras. Okay, so we've had a question from Joshua. Thank you for your question. In the Transformers kit, it comes with 6 different transformers. I can, in a follow-up email to this webinar, I will send a link to the Transformers kit to you, Joshua, and to whoever else wants it. And in this, it will basically tell you the different turns that you can look at. Now, your second question is how this 3-phase kit teaches anything from the question from Joshua is, does the 3-phase systems kit teach training for schools, or is it covered the fundamentals or basics? Now, it definitely covers the basics, but it also goes into a bit further. It goes into power factor correction. It goes into phase shift and star and delta. So level 3 and level 4, we believe electrical installation, it covers quite comfortably. Okay, so I'm just going to switch over my camera to a different camera we have, and also the microphone.
Okay, I hope you can all hear me nicely. So I'm just going to quickly introduce the components again. Here we've got the 3-phase generator. This here changes the frequency, the voltage from 6 to 9 volts. This button here changes the frequency from 0.01 hertz to 150 hertz. These are your 3 phases, and that's for your neutral or your earth. And this changes the phase from left hand to right hand. Okay, so like I said earlier, some of the experiments are done on the LOCKTRONICS board. I'm just going to tilt this camera a second. There we go. I'm plugging in the 3 phases. I believe this is in a star configuration. So just a second. I'm going to change the frequency there. There you go. So I hope you can see that nicely. Oops. Sorry, one of my wires has come out. I'll plug that back in. Oops, what's going on here? There we go. That's better. I've turned the frequency down so that it's a lot more visual. You can see how slowly the phases are working, are turning there. I'll turn it up. You can see that that's going much quicker. If I go up one again, that's going really, really slow. So you can't even see that really. Now, so some of the experiments are done on the baseboard, but most of them are done on the motor. So I'm going to get rid of the LOCKTRONICS board for now, and I'm going to start wiring again this 3-phase motor again in a star configuration. So you can see here on the motor, it tells you W2, U2, V2, U1, V1, W1. So I'm going to plug it in star initially. Now I've connected all those poles. I now need to connect the neutral. I also need to earth this, plug this into there and into the generator. That is now running at 3-phase. I hope you can see that turning. I can take out one of the phases and it will slow down. No, sorry. What if I move one phase and swap it with another? What should happen? So swap the phases over. What should happen, guys? The motor turns the other way. I'm just going to do that again. So I'm going to swap this green phase with the red phase. And as you can see, it starts turning the other way. Now that, as I'm sure most of you know, if you're an electrical installation teacher or a tutor, that's quite a hard thing to teach, particularly at high voltages. You know, getting hands-on and letting students see that it actually does that itself for themselves is a really nice thing to do. It's a nice way of showing it. The students can actually do that for themselves. Now, another level of what I want to show you guys quickly is how I can then show the guys the 3-phase, what that looks like on an oscilloscope. So you can see in the background here, I have the 4-input oscilloscope. I'm going to just quickly plug in the 4-input oscilloscope in parallel to this motor. And then, all being well, I'm going to share my screen. So I've plugged in this 4-input oscilloscope. I'm just going to share my screen with you guys. Give me a second. Just bear with me. Bear with me. There's a problem with my oscilloscope. Just give me a second. I'm just going to restart my USB. Give me just a moment. There's always this, when you're doing an online demonstration, there's always a risk of it not going perfectly. But give me just a sec. Yeah, I'm not totally sure what's going on here. It worked just before Yeah, I'm not totally sure what's gone on there, but if I just show you what it should look like, give me a second. Share my screen with you. For some reason, one of the phases, there is an issue and I can't figure out what it is. I'm just going to show you what it should look like. So it's also a good opportunity for me to show you exactly where our learning center is. So for all of our workbooks, you go to support, you go to learning center. And then, for example, now I'm going to type in electrical installation. All the books are here, all the lesson plans for each kit. I now need to find the 3-phase kit, which might actually be under, and I'll just type in 3-phase. Click on the 3-phase kit. So this is the lesson plans for the 3-phase kit, which I was going to show you after. It starts off by telling you the different worksheets. So single phase AC, 3-phase AC, phase basics, star delta, half and full wave rectification, then delivering power. In there, you've got your power factor correction and your phase shift. Scrolling down, here's telling you how to use the oscilloscope. This is what I was getting on my oscilloscope literally 2 minutes before the webinar. I don't know what's gone wrong. I think it's an issue with my oscilloscope, but that is what it should and usually does look like. And then you've got the opportunity to plug in your current clamp and do things like power factor correction and that sort of thing. I'm just going to see if turning off my power supply and restarting that will work, but I think it is an issue with my oscilloscope. Yeah, not to worry. I don't know what that issue is. I've turned off my power supply now. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen and see if anybody wants any questions. Give me a moment. So guys, now is a perfect opportunity to ask any questions that you may have by either unmuting yourself or putting some questions in the chat. I'm going to go back to my laptop now and quickly see if there were any that have cropped up. Give me just a moment. Yeah, so the first question is, can we use a different motor? Now, I believe so. You would just need to make sure that the motor has the educational shrouded inputs. So, for example, our motor is specifically made for education, and therefore it's got the educational shrouded input sockets. Now, if there's a specific motor that you would like to use, then if you would send that to me, I could ask our engineers here at Matrix and see what their opinion is. And just before you make the purchase or purchase the 3-phase kit, it'd be good to sort of see if it would be a good fit. Another one of the questions is, can you change the properties of the graph? Yeah, 100%. It's quite a flexible tool. Is the oscilloscope we sell. You can change a lot. You can change the parameters of the graph. Yeah, no problem. I've had another question, which is, what is the warranty of the 3-phase kit? The warranty is pretty standard for Matrix. It's a year, so it comes with a year full warranty. Another one of the questions I've had there is asking, what is the PF? What is the PF of the three-phase motor? What do you mean by PF? It's not something I've been asked before, I must admit. What is the power factor of the motor? Of course, yeah, sure. Now, I actually don't know the answer to that question, but I will find out the answer and I will email you individually this afternoon. Any more questions? If you want to unmute yourself, now's the time. Or if you want to ask a question in the chat, that's great as well. Hi guys, I'm going to give it another 30 seconds. If you've got any questions or if you think of any questions after this webinar, please just send me an email. You know, I'm always happy to help. Alternatively, now is a really opportune moment because I'm here and I can answer any questions now. So if you've got any questions, either unmute yourself, I can hear you, or just bob a question into the chat section. Yes, I've had a private question. I think I covered it earlier. However, for the benefit of those that missed it, you can use your own oscilloscope, but I think the key thing to remember for all the colleges is it must be a 4-input oscilloscope. And the reason it has to be a 4-input oscilloscope is it needs 3 input for each phase, and it also needs a spare input for the current clamp, because I think there's 2, if not 3, worksheets, experiments which require all 4 inputs on the oscilloscope. So yes, it can be used with your own oscilloscope. However, make sure you've got a 4-input digital oscilloscope. Okay, so I've had a question about the capacitor value. For the workbook, the worksheet on power factor correction, it comes with a capacitor. So I think it's a 33 UF, I think. Off the top of my head, I'm not totally sure, but it definitely comes with it. So with a capacitor, and that's the value that we would recommend you would use to complete the workbook and the section on power factor correction. Someone I think I've just answered your question. If I haven't, please let me know. I think I have. If there's no more questions, guys, I'm going to give it another 20 to 30 seconds. But if there's no more questions, I am going to end the webinar. Like I said, let's keep the channels of communications open. If you've got any questions about how you could use this in your lab, you know, please feel free. Just get on, or you know, give me a call or send me an email. I'm more than happy to help. I will be sending a recording of this webinar to everyone that signed up. So thank you for signing up. I'll also send the slides for the presentation. And if anybody does have any further questions, then, you know, please feel free. I think that's everything, guys. I think I've answered all the questions. So I will, I'm going to end the webinar. Thank you for joining us. I hope it's been useful and you now know how we can help you with electrical installation at level 3 and with your 3-phase. Like I say, it's the kit is you know, it's very well received in three-phase labs, where previously there's been either something that's really dangerous to students or something that's non-existent, and it's all chalk and talk. So thank you for joining. If you've got any questions that come into your mind in an hour or tomorrow or in a week, please just send me an email. I am more than happy to help. Have a great day. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Jeff, can you hear me?
I can. How are you? Can you hear me?
Jeff, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Maybe I've muted you. 1 second. No, I don't think I have.